can be
That's all I had. That's all I had.
Whatever gives you the specificity
Come on.
of the word.
That's all I had. That's all I had.
Is the predicate of the sentence.
That'll hit me though.
Now you can play that Lil Wayne song. What's going on, everybody? Fred Lee, formerly known as Mr. W. Today we're going to go over defining a subject, verb, and predicate. A subject, verb, and predicate. When I finish with my lesson today, you're going to know what a subject is, what a verb is, and what a predicate is in a sentence. Lil Wayne had a song. I think the hook is 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot 1. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot 1. Where he got a line where he says, I got through that line like a subject and a predicate. I got through that line like a subject and a predicate. Well, if Lil Wayne can understand and identify a subject and a predicate, so can you. We're going to throw that verb in there too. Just a little review. Subject is who or what is doing the verb. Who or what is doing the verb. Hey, y'all don't get jealous of my handwriting, but check out this next sentence. He writes neatly. What is the subject in he writes neatly? First, in order to find that subject, this is just review, we have to locate that verb. What is the verb in this sentence? He writes neatly. What is that action word in this sentence? Correct. Writes. This is the verb. We're going to put a V for verb. Okay. Now, who's doing the writing? It's either going to be he or neatly. He. He is the subject. Let's put an S for subject right there. He. This is the subject of the sentence doing the writing. Okay, since we understand what the subject is, let's take a look at the definition of a verb, because today we're defining a subject, verb, and then we're going to go to predicates. The word in a phrase or sentence requiring action. That is the verb. We learned briefly in elementary school where I come from, and I hear people talk about it all the time, that the verb is the action word. So let's look at some action words. Words that require action. Jump or jumping. Sing or singing. Praise or praising. Shout or shouting. These are all words that require action. Can you name me some in the comments? Some action words. Okay, now we're going to locate that verb and underline it. I'm giving you the same sentence that I just previously used when talking about subject. He writes neatly. Which one of these words requires energy, requires action? And action is something that has to take place. Somebody has to do something. Writes, correct. Locate the verb and underline it. Writes is the verb. Okay, we're going to do a V for verb. Let's talk predicate. The predicate is located and begins at the mention of the verb in the sentence and includes the details about the verb. The predicate. Everybody say predicate on 3. 1, 2, 3. Predicate. The predicate is located and begins at the mention of the verb, at the mentioning of the verb in the sentence, and includes details about the verb. Now let's take a look at a full sentence, the same sentence we had. He writes neatly. As you all can see, I write neatly. Don't hate, congratulate, participate. All right. Now I'm going to write that same sentence. He writes neatly. Let's look at the same sentence we had earlier with subject, verb, and now we're on predicate. Remember, the predicate begins at the mentioning of the verb and the specificity about the verb. That's a real word, specificity. Spell specific, and then add an ity on the end as a suffix. So look it up. It's the activity of being specific. You got a new word to add to your vocabulary. The specificity of the verb. The predicate does that for the verb. He writes neatly. We need to locate the predicate and underline it. He writes neatly. Now, we can only have the predicate once we see the verb. So there's our verb. And if we revert back, or if we go back to what we know about subject, who's doing the writing? He. He is our subject. So now the predicate starts at the verb. So it starts here. Okay. And the specificity of the verb. What about his writing? His writing is neat. He writes neatly. So all of this is our verb phrase and is our predicate. So even in lengthier sentences or in longer sentences, your predicate can be a plethora of words. Whatever gives you the specificity of the verb, including that verb, is the predicate of the sentence. Now you can play that Lil Wayne song, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot 1, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8. I got a little hype right there. And understand what Wayne means when he says, I got through that line like the subject and the predicate. Hey, that's it for today, y'all. Subject, verb, predicate. Tap in, comment below. Let me know how the videos are going for you. If you're able to identify the subject, verb, and predicate. And let's not stop there. Next week, I want to talk about, well, actually this week, I want to talk about writing an essay. These are some important things to know, especially when you're trying to do things in life. You got to be able to write it out, plan it out. You got to be able to reach the people and give logic in what you're doing. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. Hope you have a great rest of the day and a great season. Mr. W, Fred Lee. Keep it there.